All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a lesson on how no man can overcome destiny, right? No one can overcome destiny. Nobody can unwrite what has been written for them to receive in this world, man. And I'm going to go and start off with Revelation 4, right? This is Revelation chapter 4 and verse 11. Thou art worthy, O Yahweh, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. And that means that every single thing that exists in this earth, from bugs to plants, dogs, cats, different types of fishes, right? Reptiles, all these different things, the big cats, humans, obviously, us, the Israelites, and then the different branches of what humans exist, right? So you got the children of God, right? The Israelites. You got the seed of the serpent, the Edomites, and the wicked. And then you have the children of men, which are all the other nations, right? That are outside of being an Israelite or outside of being Edomite, that are gonna still be alive in the kingdom of heaven, but they are not gonna have what is called salvation, because they are not gonna know what it's like to be free from death due to not being under the new covenant, which the only way to be free from death is to be free from sin. And the only way to be free from sin is to be under the new covenant. Now, people can argue back and forth and say whatever they want to say after I've said that, but show me in the Bible where it mentions another nation by name as being under the new covenant. You can't do it. I've looked, it's not there. The only nation that you find written by name as being a recipient of the new covenant are the house of Judah and the house of Israel. And if you want to say that a Gentile can be the house of the Israel or house of Judah, okay, describe how a Gentile that is not an Israelite becomes a part of either the house of Israel or the house of Judah. And if you ask me from a perspective of how does an Israelite become part of the house of Judah or the house of Israel? It's simple. Which part of the north are they? Was they in part of the northern kingdom or the southern kingdom when the kingdom of Israel got split during the time of King Solomon? If they're part of the southern kingdom, then they would be considered part of the house of Judah. If they're part of the northern kingdom, then they would be considered part of the house of Israel. But ultimately, there's not going to be neither of those, because according to the book of Ezekiel, 37th chapter, it says that there's not going to be. In fact, I'll show that scripture. That's a good scripture to mention. Right, that's a good scripture to go to. Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 22. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall no more be two nations, so no longer the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, right? Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore. Also, this right there, the point's right there, right? I said kingdom when I read two nations, right? But then it ends up going on to say two kingdoms anyway, so I didn't even need to do that. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. The only nation that was split into two kingdoms were the Israelites, right? And then neither going to be no splitting of the Israelites where they try and break it down even further of saying, oh, you're a Jew and you're a Greek. That's not going to be happening neither. That's not going to be happening, man. It's going to be only you're an Israelite. And here's the thing, no man can escape their destiny, right? So all you Israelites out there that want to reject being an Israelite and don't want to accept it, guess what? You're going to be in it anyway, whether you like it or not. You don't get to choose. You think you get to reject Yahweh? You don't get to reject Yahweh. Yahweh does the rejecting around here. You don't get to say, I don't want to be part of what Yahweh is talking about. You don't get to do that. Yahweh rejects you, right? And that's why Esau has been rejected, and no matter what he does, he can't come into this. All the other nations that are not Israelites, they've been rejected. But all the people that Yahweh said, I'm choosing you, they're going to be chosen whether they like it or not, right? And all you Israelites that are rebellious now and they're like, nah, I ain't on this, nah, I don't rock with this Hebrew thing. I'm against the camps. I don't like. I'm an Israelite, but I ain't in no camp. As if, like, you know what? All you Israelites out there that have got a problem with the Hebrew Israelite camps, I've got to say this: that you're all demons, because the only reason why anybody on this earth knows that they're an Israelite is because of the same camps that y'all are complaining about. They're the main source of pushing the truth of the Hebrew Israelite thing and the true doctrine of the world, the true doctrine of the Bible across the earth. That's the main source, right? Now it's pushed further through the internet, but that's the main source, man. And anybody that knows about this knows about it either directly or indirectly because of the camps. And if you say otherwise, you're a lying bastard. Like, that's just the clearest way I gotta say it, man. I gotta just sing it real. But anyway, 2 chapter 9 and verse 9, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, all the Israelites that don't want to believe in Yahweh, don't want to accept that they're an Israelite, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments, because during the day of Yahweh's wrath, you're going to be catching hell. And it's not going to be a hell that you think you can handle neither. It's going to be the worst thing that you can't handle. It's going to be what you're going through. Things that Yahweh knows because he made you. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, you was thinking you're living it up in the sunshine, right? You received your consolation prize, which some people's consolation prize is not as good as another's. Some people's consolation prize might be a 40 ounce and a blunt, man. That's some people's consolation prize. They ain't never got no money for nothing else, but Yahweh always gives them a bit of money for them to go and get their 40 ounce and a blunt, right? And some Roscoe's or some Popeyes or something, man. Whatever y'all be under, or over here in the UK, some Dixies and a Morley's, man, right? And a super malt, because they don't really do the 40 ounce thing over here. A super malt, man, and some red stripe. Yeah, a super malt and some red stripe and a can of Guinness. Yeah, that's the UK 40 ounce, man. A can of Guinness and a red stripe, bro, and a super malt, which I like super malt anyway, but it's not alcohol, right? I drink super malt sometimes, right? But that's the UK, like, well, maybe that super malt is not the UK 40 ounce because it's not alcohol in it, but it is malt though. But I'd say maybe a Guinness and a red stripe, man, right? Which I never had red stripe before, but anyway. But carrying on with this, man. Verse 11, and they that have loathed my laws while they yet had liberty, and when yet as replaced repentance was open unto them, because there was still a chance for them to be like, you know what, maybe we are the Israelites since everyone's got such a problem with this. Maybe I shouldn't take the MOTBF to push it out. Maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe we are actually, maybe this is the real thing to believe. Understood not, but despised it. Instead of being like that, there was like, man, getting on it TikTok, man, making their little memes, mocking being an Israelite, and thinking that they could try and become a comedian off the Israelite thing instead, right? The same must know it after death by pain. So even after all of that, them running their mouth saying everything bad about the Hebrew Israelite thing, they're going to know it anyway, because you don't get to choose your destiny. Your destiny as an Israelite is to be immortal and be part of the ruling of the world. Now your rank in the rulership is going to be lower due to you rejecting it now, but you're going to be part of the rulership, whether you want it to or not, man, because you don't get to reject Yahweh. Yahweh rejects you. You don't get to pick whether Yahweh wants to be God over you. He's going to be your God, whether you like it or not, right? And you're going to have it with shame and everlasting contempt, man. You're like, man, I rejected this, but look how beautiful it is. But I've got it anyway, but I rejected it once. But look how beautiful it is, though. And why would I reject this? How stupid was I to reject this? But really, that was your lot, man. You don't get to reject your destiny. Destiny is not something that can be rejected. And speaking of destiny, the destiny of Babylon the Great is to be destroyed, man. Right? The destiny of Babylon. And you know what? Let me read that last bit of that verse. Verse 13. And therefore be not curious how the ungodly shall be punished. And when, because what's guaranteed is that there will be punishment. Demons like Anton Daniels, all these scoffers, a demon like, which he ain't even know Israelite, but a demon like Vocab Malone, right? Like all these kind of people, all these God logics and all these kind of people that have scoffed and ran their mouth about the Hebrew Israelite thing, man. We don't know when they're going to be destroyed. We don't know how, but we know that they are going to, though, right? but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for who the world is created. So worry more about what situation that you might end up in that makes you receive salvation, man. Worry about that more than worry about how these demons are going to get destroyed, because they're going to be anyway. That's what the scriptures tells us to do. Now, speaking about the whole destiny thing again, right? The destiny of Babylon the Great and the destiny of Esau, the worst, is to be destroyed, man. Right? That's just the truth of it. And it's funny because both the nation that ran Babylon the Great and the people are not going to exist anymore, to where it's almost going to be like no evidence that they existed, right? Babylon the Great, when what it's going to get turned into, like, if you didn't know that there used to be the so-called best country ever there, you wouldn't know that it wasn't just always these crazy ass animals living there. You would have think, man, this has just always been a desert. This has just always been a place that people don't live. You ain't gonna see no remnant or no evidence of Viva Las Vegas. You ain't gonna see no Hollywood Boulevard around there. You ain't gonna see no Miami, the place where the women would be walking around with their stinking ass BBLs and all that. You ain't gonna see none of that, man. You're gonna see no evidence of Madison Square Garden. Or this is where people used to buy their Birkin bag. You ain't gonna see no evidence of that. You ain't gonna see no evidence of where the Empire State Building used to be. It's gonna look like they just nothing ever existed there. Just like how if you don't have proof of that there used to be such a thing as Edomites because you never seen one, because you wasn't one of those Israelites that survived the day of Yahweh's wrath, that survived the day of the Lord, you ain't gonna live to know what an Edomite looked like. You're gonna hear about them, especially after the 1,000 years of their captivity is over and they're completely Obadiah 1 and 18. You ain't gonna know what they existed. Any Israelite born after the first 1,000 years of the Israelites' kingdom, he's not gonna know anything about what Babylon looked like, man. And after the burning of Babylon is completed and it's really just become a complete desolate wilderness, people ain't gonna have no remnant of no proof of what it used to be like, man. Like in the first year of Babylon being destroyed, if you used to fly over it, I guess you might still see that some of them buildings are still there and that, because they ain't completely deteriorated by then. But eventually, you ain't gonna have no proof that anything was there. After that 1,000 years is up, when Esau's over, I don't think you'd be able to go over Babylon the Great and see and look over it and be like, oh, yeah, is that? Yeah, I can still see the torch on the Empire State Building. That's it. Yeah, that's where New York was. Yeah, that's got to be where New York was then. Tri-state area or whatever the hell it's called, man. I don't know about the New York and the American kind of geography, man. But you ain't gonna be able to see no remnants of what it used to be. It's just gonna be, man, I don't know what this is. This is a place that you don't want to be. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh have spoken it. That's the destiny of the Edomites. Now, can they escape this? Can they say, oh, well, we are against this and we're not going to make it come to pass. We're going to choose our own thing. No, they can't. Now, they can think that they're going to, or they want in their mind, but they can't escape what's written, though. A man can't escape his destiny, man. Was Jonah able to escape his destiny? No. Was Job able to escape his destiny? It was part of Job's destiny to catch all that hell that he caught, and then later on received the chance to see 4 generations after he went through everything that he went through, man. But he was made to go through all of that he went through. Could Yahweh Shai escape his destiny? No. He asked to. And what was his answer? Silence. The answer he received is, can he escape and have the cup of punishment passed over, was silence, man. Meaning, no, this is the only way. You can't escape your destiny. Right? It was written for Yahweh Shai to be betrayed. It was written for Yahweh Shai to go through everything that he went through. It was written for him to be betrayed by the Israelites, man. And he went through it. It was written for the Israelites to reject him. And they went through that, man. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 2. And he cried, no, in fact, yeah, I'll go to that. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. Is fallen and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For the nations have drunk of the wine and of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now, thinking you're going to escape this is a joke, because You ain't escape. Did we escape? Right. Let's go to this. Let's go to this, man. Because Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1, and it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse. Did we escape the blessings during the time of King Solomon? No. Like if you had if you had a time machine right now and could go back to that time of King Solomon, man, that would be the only time spent on this earth in its whole history that would feel better than the kingdom of heaven, in my opinion. That point in time right there, man, when we was chilling off under King Solomon's rulership for that 40 years apiece, that time right there would be the only time that I think could be considered more peaceful for that being an Israelite than the time that we're going to receive in the future of being under the kingdom. In the kingdom and Salakia. And I was listening to Apostle Gabar talking about the kingdom. And that seems to be a thing that people are speaking about more and more, man. We're really, the Israelites' minds are really starting to think about the idea of immortality, man, and what it actually means, man. I was listening to Apostle Gabar, and he was going into how the kingdom of heaven is literally forever, continually, a good days, like the best day of your life, pretty much every single day, like an amazing day every day. And that is what I think about when I think about the kingdom of heaven. It's like he was talking about how you could go and fly in, and these are things that I've thought about, man. Going flying, running across water, going deep sea swimming, seeing what's underneath in the sea and all that, and these animals not trying to eat you. Because the sea, I've been on the sea before, and I made sure that I had a floating device, man. That big floating vest, because I was scared, man. I ain't the best of swimmers. I can swim decent enough in a like pool that I can float in, where my feet can touch the floor, but I ain't no Michael Phelps. I ain't treading water and doing all that. I ain't really no swimmer like that, man. But when I was in the sea and I was just looking at how dark blue the water was, I was like, man, what the hell is this? What the hell is this, man? Like, that's just, it's the sea's mad, bro. There's all this dark blue water, and you're looking out, and it's like it never ends, man. That's terrifying. But we're gonna overcome the fear of that in the kingdom, because we're gonna know what it's about. We're gonna know what's in there, because we're gonna go and see. We're gonna know what's in the sky, because we're gonna go and see, man. Like there's one, I guess you could call it an anime called Invincible, and they flipping be flying in space to get on spaceships, man. They'd be flying from Earth into space to get on spaceships and then traveling to next planets and all that, man. These are things that we're gonna do. These are things we're gonna be like, man. But for real though, not no fake cartoon, no anime or nothing. We're gonna really be like that. And just like how we didn't escape the blessings in the time of King Solomon, we also never escaped the curses, man. Having Bloods and Crips, all the gangs that would be over in the UK, stupid Jakes asking you what postcode you are. What postcode you are. What accent is that? Where are you from? What road you from? No, they stupid idiot stuff. Jake's trying to sleep with your woman, being adulterers. You having to try and fight your mindset of trying to make sure that you don't become an adulterer yourself, man, and lusting after no one else's woman, or if a woman that's married or has got a man trying to holler at you, and you've got to rebuke her lusting off for you, so that you don't sin, man. Because women will do that. They'll try and get you. Satan will get on a woman to try and make you commit adultery, man. A woman that would normally not even try and give you the time of day, try and lust you off, to try and get you to sin and go off so you can be destroyed, man. We gotta rebuke all that, all many kind of things, man. A wicked thought, right? A wicked thought that you know is not your fault, but Satan's trying to make you think that that's your fault, bro. You're a demon. You know what I mean? And some people, when they hear people talk like this, they're like, nah, that's just you. You are the demon. No, nah. Satan's out there to try and sift you, and he don't care about what techniques he has to use to try and get you out of there, man. But he's going to work for us one day, according to the scriptures, man, where we're going to be able to subdue all things unto ourselves. We're going to subdue these evil spirits unto ourselves one day, man. And that's our destiny. We can't escape that. But it's also our destiny to catch this hell. And it's your verse 30 and verse 1 again. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations with Yahweh thy power has driven thee. Getting driven among all nations was part of our destiny. We ain't escaped that, because I'm over in England right now, but there's other people that are not in England that are Israelites, and we didn't escape our destiny. That was our destiny to go through that. We didn't get to say, nah, actually we reject that, we rebuke that, and we're actually going to just stay in Israel, and then prophecy is just pending now, or just stopped. No, it happened as it was written, and Esau's going to have his portion happen as it's written too, but he's thinking in his wicked ass mind that he can somehow stop it from happening, and he can't, right? He can't stop it from happening no more than we could stop our part from happening. It's not possible. Many people have tried, man. Many people have thought they can try and stop something happening, and it never happened. It goes the way how Yahweh wants it to go. No other way does it go, other than the way that Yahweh wants it to go. And let me get a scripture on that, man. I don't know how can you, like, it's absolutely ridiculous when you think about it, to try and like go against something that knows where you are at all times, and you never know where he is. He knows everything that you've done your whole life and everything that you're going to do, and is actually the reason why you're doing the things that you're going to do. Yet you think that you're gonna go against him, but you trying to go against him is actually something that he programmed you to do. And you having in your mind that you're going against him and he can't stop you is actually something that he put in your mind, and yet you're thinking that you're gonna win. Like, it's all done deliberately for you to lose. He made you think you can win, knowing that you can't win. And that's why it's laughable when you really think of Esau's pride, because the pride that he's got his pride was built up deliberately by Yahweh. Just like how Pharaoh's pride was built up deliberately by Yahweh. Exodus 9, and I think 17, and Romans 9, and I think 15, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 18 and verse 1. He that liveth forever hath created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. To whom he have given power to declare his work. Wait, to whom have he given power? No, that's enough, man. Verse 3 again. Who governs the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will, and no one's going against Yahweh's will, man. Esau, all the things that he's doing is to make Revelation 18 be fulfilled, man. All the pride that Mr. 47, Mr. 2 weeks, right, is talking about, right? Mr. 47 and Mr. 2 weeks. Oh, it's all going to be over in 2 weeks. 2 weeks this, 2 weeks that, right? How long do you think this is going to take? I'd say about 2 weeks. That's what he says. That's his one of his main quotes, man. 2 weeks this, 2 weeks that, man. All the things he's doing is to make Babylon the Great be destroyed. Like, they're all thinking, like, but people are thinking in their mind, oh, now we can go against. No, you can't, man. And then you had that demon, prime minister of or president of Israel, saying whatever he said about, oh, we're doing this to try and bring forth the Messiah. And well, he said that, and he was not actually wrong, really, when he said that, man, because the things that they're doing are going to bring Yahweh Shai, because World War III is what they're bringing, right? And World War III brings Yahweh Shai, but when they're saying it in their pride, as if Yahweh Shai is coming back, as if the Messiah is coming back to help them, right? And it's mad that he said that, because they don't even believe that the Messiah came the first time when you really look at what they're saying. So how the hell is he coming back for the first time and it's going to be just salvation straight away, when they don't even believe, amongst their belief system of being the Jews, that he even came the first time yet? But isn't it fascinating how they all of a sudden switch it round, but if it means that they can try and get away with whatever they want to get away with? It's mad, huh? How quickly they just change up, man. Second Ezra chapter 13 and verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. Now, what Israel did to Iran, that's going to cause all of this. That's going to be a main, has and is going to be a major catalyst that's going to bring all of this. So he wasn't technically wrong, but he's just wrong in what it's going to mean for him. And that's why the Bible says in Amos 5 and 18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, for what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Because people can try and think they can call and speed up the day of the Lord coming all they want. But why would you want to be speeding up your time in captivity? Because that's all that's happening if you're an Edomite, especially Amalek. Right? Y'all should definitely not be wanting the kingdom of heaven to come sooner, because y'all are going, man, y'all are going to be getting treated worse than everyone. The tribe of Amalek from the nation of Esau is going to be getting treated worse than any other Edomite, man, because they're the Israelites' main enemy. That's going to be like the bottom of the bottom. If being an Edomite is going to be considered rank 0, being Amalek is going to put you in the minus. Verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my son, which is talking about Yahushua, be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending, right? And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in his own land leave the battle they have one against another. And I've said in a couple of videos, I can't find a video, but they're on the channel somewhere. They're on there. They're on this channel that you're going to see. And I've said several times that Esau, in his pride, is trying to cause for Yahushua to come, because they're thinking that they can try and take him out, man. They're so demonically proud. It's disgusting, man. Like, they've got these bugged out theories and philosophies that they believe, where they've got thoughts processes in their mind that Yahweh is not the ultimate God. They've got certain religions that they believe, certain bugged out theories that they believe, where Yahweh is not the real Most High, and there's another God above him. But who put that in their mind, though? Yahweh put it there. And that's why they try and do all of these things, where they're trying to get rid of all the natural orders, what Yahweh believed, Yahweh designed, in the hope that the world that Yahweh made can fizzle away. Like, they're so bugged out. It's unbelievable. Now, we know that that's BS, what they're talking about, but they think it's real. And here's the thing, man. They're causing for Yahushua to return, right? But when he returns, this is the thought process they're going to have, and this is their destiny. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 15, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens of the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. That's what they're going to, like, they're talking about they're causing for the Messiah to return and all that. But when he returns, this is what they're going to be saying. So if they had any brains, they would not do things to try and cause him to return. They would just shut them out and keep it in cruise control of what they've got now. And okay, a few Israelites get rich, a few Israelites get a couple of Edomite women and all that. Let it slide, man. Just let it slide and just do your thing. Occasionally give an Edomite or two a helping hand, right? And let it be on this. But they had to just try and do more, didn't they? They had to want to try and go and seek above their needs, man, and think that they're going to be immortal. You ain't going to steal Jacob's blessing, man. It's not happening. And really, they couldn't choose to not do this, because it's destiny. And their evil and their wickedness has blinded them. How wicked they are has blinded them that they can't defeat prophecy. So it's all designed, man, for them to just go down and catch hell, so that we can end up where we're going to be, man. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it. I follow 2 Ezra 6 and 9, man. Verse 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So they're talking about, oh, we want to try and bring the Messiah forward and that speed up. Mate, you don't want to speed it up though. When they see, like, I think about what Yahweh Shai is going to look like on this occasionally, and when I think about it, I know what the scriptures say, but actually picturing what he's going to look like in reality, as in actually being in front of him, man. Like, that's like almost like something that, like, him just, his presence being, just picture your living room or your house or your local area, and then picturing that Yahweh Shai was standing in front of you, and the level that he's on compared to that environment, it's almost not even equal, man. It's not equal. There's no other person on this earth that you can say this about what I'm about to read right now. There's no other person that's did anything on this earth that you can say what I'm about to say right now about. Right? There's no other person. So you can't really, like, to try and put Yahweh Shai into words. The only person that is more difficult to try and put into words is Yahweh. To try and put Yahweh Shai into words really is very difficult, man, because we don't even know the half of what he's did really. John chapter 21 and verse 25, and there are also many other things which Yahweh Shai did, the which, if they should be written every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Amen. So how can anybody on this earth try and think that they're like that? You got a couple of celebrities that they might have an autobiography and all that, right? A couple of famous people might have a movie written about them. Couple of like pivotal people in history might have a few movies written on them, right? A couple of books written about them here and there, but they can all fit in one room, or they can all fit really in one bookshelf, man. If you was to look up who's had the most books written about them outside of Yahweh Shai, who would it be? Right? Who's it gonna be, man? But it wouldn't be able to fit, like, all the books written on them wouldn't even be so much that it can't even be fitting in one room. But Yahweh Shai, it says the world couldn't contain them. You understand? And that's just crazy heavier than what anyone else can say, man. So for all you people that want to say, oh, you don't need to worship the Messiah, what are you on about, man? What's wrong with you? Now, I think I've made the point on the destiny thing, but let me just go to the destiny of Babylon the Great, because I read a bit about it, but I want to read the actual destiny of what's supposed to happen, what's going to happen to it, man. Right? Revelation chapter 18, and I'll start from verse 3. In fact, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. Now, all of that was also destiny, because Yahweh made Babylon a golden cup in the world's hand that he was going to use to make the earth drunken. He made America, right, have the ability to influence the rest of the world in wickedness. He never gave nowhere else in this time the power to do that. And that's why no other place can try and copy or mimic America's influence, man. It can't happen. America was given that spirit of being the golden cup that made the world drunken. And that's why there's other places that are also ran by Edomites, right? But America is the main place that influences how the world acts. America is the main place of influence among Esau, even though that's not where the main elites originate from. The main elites would be like certain wicked ass English Edomites, man. Yet the influence comes from Babylon, America. Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto the heaven. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she hath rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and just see no soul. But that's destiny. It's part of Esau's destiny to think that he's going to escape this, just so that when he receives it, the prophecy is written about how he's going to think, man, where's this coming from? How is this happening? Can be fulfilled. And that's why when you see Edomite being proud, don't be shocked, because they're supposed to be proud, man. Before they get served up on a plate to with the nation of Israel, it's beginning with Yahweh Shai, they're supposed to be at the height of their pride, because their wickedness is blinding them, man. How wicked they are and how envious they are of the children of Israel is blinding them from the decisions that they're making to the way they don't even realize that, man, we're burning out our own allies here. We're actually burning out the people that gave us the strength to make this kingdom. And that's why when Mr. 47 is burning out NATO, it's stupid, because NATO and all of them are the reasons why they was able to build their kingdom. Let's go to this Revelation chapter 19 and verse 17. For God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast. They helped Babylon be what it is until the words of God should be fulfilled. But once the words of God are fulfilled, Babylon ain't going to be able to carry on with its influence no more, and they're going to burn. In fact, let's go to this. Verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God hath put it in their hearts. So Yahweh's manipulated them, right? To fulfill his will. So it's their destiny to do it. It was their destiny to follow. And to agree with all the BS that they was putting down, until there was going to become a time where they don't agree anymore and give their kingdom unto the beast. Oh yeah, we'll do whatever you want to do. Oh, you want us to sanction this country? Yeah, we won't buy from them no more because you said so, even though it would be financially better if we did. And it's actually going to be more better for our country if we didn't listen to you. We're going to do that until the time came where something came from Babylon where they offended them or whatever took place on the earthly realm. But spiritually, it was because Yahweh was going to say, okay, the time of you being able to influence these 10 horns is now over. And now the 10 horns are going to start to look at you sideways, because now they've fulfilled my will. And now they're going to fulfill the other part of my will, which is to destroy you. For God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. Who's the his? Yahweh's will. And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. So that's proof that there ain't no free will. So all you people that want to talk about free will, this free will, that, okay, read that scripture and tell me that there's free will then. There ain't no free will. They was made to follow after what Babylon said, until they was made to not do it anymore. That's what that verse is basically saying, man. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh judge of her. Now, can they escape that? Is there some kind of oogity boogity, some kind of throwing salt over your shoulder, jumping a broom, not smashing mirrors, or something that they can do? Is there some kind of adrenochrome, some kind of eating a fish's liver that they can do, or something like that? No. They're going to go for it, man. There ain't nothing, there ain't no special words. There ain't no, oh, if you say this word backwards, then it's going to reject it. No, there ain't nothing they can do. There ain't no special herbal tea, no special green smoothie that they can drink. Or if you eat turmeric at 9 a.m., then it's going to rebuke the destruction of the Lord. Or if we just eat an alkaline diet, then we're not going to get judged. Or if we just avoid carbs, then imagine that. Like they're thinking it doesn't matter what they do. Or if we don't sleep, then Yahweh can't influence us, because he can only influence. He says in a vision and a dream of the night. So if we don't sleep anymore, then we'll be exempt. Try not sleeping. You're gonna go sleep, and Yahweh's gonna influence you to do what he wants. You're gonna do it, man. You can't escape destiny. And the destiny of Babylon the Great, as well as the destiny of Esau the worst, the demon nation, man, the demons, is to be judged, man. Obadiah 1 and 18, Revelation 18, verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So even though they're going to be the cause of her getting destroyed, right, they're also going to be crying. It's going to be like this. And you know what? That happens in this world, man. Like with a lover's tiff and that. Two lovers, right? And the one lover flipping backstabs the other one, so they like unalive them and that. And then once the person's unalive, they're like, oh, Jessica, oh, why did I do it? You know what? In Scarface, man, in Scarface, when Scarface found out that his best friend was dealing with his little sister, the first thing he did when he seen him is blazed him, just blasted him, right? But then when he came to his senses, he was like, why did I do that? He was just still sniffed off, talking to himself like, oh, why did I do that, man? Why did I do that? Why the fuck did I do that, man? Yeah, he's spazzing out. Killed his main man. Didn't even know what the hell he was doing, man. That's what these nations are going to be doing, man. All these nations that know secretly, okay, America is the source of our pride. America's the main cheat code to us having influence over the world as Edomites. But they're going to forget that for a short period of time, blaze America down, man. They're going to think that Eva thought, screw you. What's Arnie say, man, in a lot of his movies? Screw you. They're going to blaze off them ICBMs. And then after the ICBMs do what they're supposed to do, which is destroy everything in sight, and they see what that looks like, because nobody knows what that looks like, man. Once they see what it looks like, they're going to be crying, oh, what the fuck? What did we do? Oh, man. That's hundreds of millions of people just gone in an hour. Oh, man, what the? And the real crying is not even going to be for the people. That's the thing that's worse about it. That's the thing that's worse about it, man. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, sending her far off for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city of Babylon, that mighty city, from 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So really, kind of, when I look at it again, certain people are going to be mourning because America's destroyed. But then certain people that was making riches off America and wasn't necessarily the nations that actually allowed America to completely influence it, they're going to be mourning for money. So he's kind of like, people are going to be mourning for both reasons, man. For the money and somewhat for the realization that, damn, we just destroyed everything that was our power. Because in the same time as America getting destroyed, Yahweh Shai is returning. That's what we believe, right? So they ain't gonna have too much time for more, man. And like, it's a difficult one, because at the same time as this happening, the Israelites are gonna be gathered, and then they're gonna be changed, and then there's still gonna be a time frame of where the Israelites are going for whatever change they're gonna be going through, from then till them coming back down again, that New Jerusalem, man. So what's gonna be happening that time, man? They're gonna be lamenting and crying for what they've did. They're gonna meet Salakia. They're gonna be lamenting and crying for what they've did. And at the same time, they're gonna be like, man, what have we done? And we ain't gonna get richer no more. But man, there's gonna be a lot going on all at once, man. A lot of things are gonna be going on all at once. These people are gonna have too many things to think about, man. And the worst thought that's gonna come into mind is, damn, them people really were the Israelites, huh? Oh man, them people really weren't niggas, huh? They really were Israelites. They really were Hebrews, huh? They weren't no BHIs. They really were just the real children of Israel, huh? We're fucked. That's what it's a luck, yeah. But that's what's gonna be coming into their mind, man. They really weren't no BHIs, huh? They really were just the actual real Israelites, huh? Them African Americans really were Judah, huh? Funny old life. Hey, that's what's gonna be happening, man. And this is all destiny, and you can't escape it. There's nothing you can do about it. And it don't hurt my heart to say this. There's nothing you can do. It's gonna happen whether you like it or not. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the thing. There's absolutely nothing. You can try whatever you want to try. But Isaiah 47 says you was going to try whatever he's going to try. And it's not going to work when Yahweh no longer wants it to work. Right? Yahweh allowed you to have influence over the other nations so that you could fulfill the will of Yahweh and be a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that influenced the whole world and made it drunk. But there's going to come a time where he no longer wants you to be able to make the world drunk no more. And now he wants the world to sober up and has set the prophets to break down the strongholds that you set when you was making the world drunk. But now the living waters are going to sober the world up, beginning with the children of Israel, and make people realize who you are. And then your allies and the world is going to turn against you. Behold, I have made you small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right? That's prophecy, man. That's in open. Let's get it. Let's go to that. You can't escape this. You can't escape this, man. But you can try, though. But you can't. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. But there was a time where America couldn't do no wrong in the world's eyes. There was a time where people used to get told by Hebrew Israelites America's going to be destroyed. And they'd say, why? And then the Israelite would say, what do you mean, why? Don't you know what they did to the African Americans and the Native Americans and the Mexicans and the Latinos and Latinas? Oh, you wanted them, are you? But if you say that to them now, they'd be like, yeah, it probably needs to. People ain't jumping up to defend America no more. They actually want it to get destroyed. They ain't jumping up on no Captain Save Babylon right now. They ain't on none of that right now. They actually be down for that. They actually want to separate from America, whereas before, that would be people's main location for wanting to jump and go on holiday. But now it seems like it's a place where people are trying to get away from. And that's what this video has ultimately been about, man. You can't escape your destiny. Let me finish this off with one scripture. You Edomites, you can't escape your destiny, man. And every time you're thinking you're going to tie it down, oh, let's settle this down, let's calm it down, something's going to happen to it, it's going to turn up again. Right? You ain't going to get to pretend like, oh, we've had a negotiation with them and now we're settling it down. Because they're going to say, nah, we ain't. We're still going to carry on doing what we're doing. But you're trying to think you can try and be slick and say, oh, yeah, we've had negotiations and we're going to tie it down, to try and give them like a way out to say, okay, we're going to chill as well then. You're trying to say something's happened before it's actually really happened, to try and give yourself a way out. But they're not allowing you to give yourself a way out because they're lying and saying, now we didn't have a negotiation, when they could have said, yeah, we did have a negotiation, and lied with you and tried to end it that way so that you could try and save face and pretend like you said something to them to make them pattern down and calm their ass down. But they're saying, nah, these negotiations that you're talking about, you're having them by yourself. When you shall cease to deal treacherously with them, they're going to deal treacherously with you. That's prophecy. Right? Warned him that spoiled us and now is not spoiled, that destroyed when now is not destroyed. When thou shalt cease to destroy, thou shalt be destroyed. When thou shalt cease to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee, man. What's that? Isaiah 33, I think. I'm going to end with this scripture here. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. That's prophecy, right? For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. Now that's talking about Babylon. That's the destiny of that place, man. And the destiny of the Edomites in general is to go out the same way as Babylon, man. They're gonna go out too. But Babylon's gonna go first before them. The main place that they had that all their pride went into building is gonna be destroyed. They ain't made no place better than America. They might think they have, but they ain't. They always talk about all these best places to live in the world, and it's sometimes not America. America's the best thing that they ever did on the earth. America's Esau's best work, man. It's their idol, their top idol, right? Their top witchcraft. That's going. Then all Edomite power is going to be finished. And from that day forth, the days are never going to be happy the same again. And ain't nothing they can do about it. And it's their destiny to go through this, man. Just like it was our destiny to go through whatever we went through. And on that, I'm going to say shalom to the nation of Israel, shalom.